Right. Ravi, one quick question before we have to start wrapping up the show is high conviction ideas. So what are the sectors and subsectors that you're betting on which form a part of your core portfolio currently? And you don't need to give me stocks. I'm assuming there'll be a restriction there, but sectors, subsectors that the big bets are where the alpha is going to come from.
No, so I think before what to bet on, I think what is important to note is there are some sectors which are dependent on central government capex, and those sectors actually face a risk. We might not be, there might be no increase in the capex from the central government side on the defense or on the railway side. So those sectors, and they have been the best performing sectors, no doubt about it. There might be some earnings momentum which carries them through, but I don't see incremental order flow to that sector or incremental allocation to that sector happening. So those are the sectors which clearly face a challenge. Overall, I feel that ideally there should be some shift away from capital goods and such sector towards slightly more towards consumption and export oriented sector. One, primarily because these sectors have not done well for the last 4-5 years. And there is a valuation, if I can say, the valuations are relatively better over there. Second, there are some green shoots beginning to appear over there. So the risk reward from a 3 to 5 years perspective is more on these side of the sector rather than towards the capex oriented themes.
Okay. Final question from mine to Mr. Sayta. Mr. Sayta, to your mind, based on your conversations with corporates around taxation or otherwise, and keeping the budget math in mind, what is it that you are watching out for? What is it that you think your client list is wanting from the businessman perspective?
I think by and large, clients and the corporate sector is happy with the current tax regime and the stability thereof being maintained with not too much tinkering, not too much changes. I don't think there is a big expectation of some big sops to the corporate sector from the tax point of view. But certainly there is an expectation and hope that stability and predictability, which has been the hallmark of this government, will continue. And of course, a big expectation that the way this government or this regime has managed the macro stability of this country, and that is across various parameters, will be maintained. I think two big things that need to be addressed, of course, the food inflation and the rural growth, which are very muted. Food inflation is high, rural growth is muted. So something there. And I don't know, I mean, not much is being spoken about, but while there is enough both tax revenue as well as non-tax revenue that the government has, both from the direct indirect taxes side as well as maybe non-tax revenue like the RBI dividend, I'm not too sure whether it's a bad idea right now if any further funds are required and to manage the fisc better. It might not be a bad idea to really give a big push to PSU disinvestment at this stage. The valuations are really good. I think the market dynamics will do with some additional supply side on the capital market side. And it might be a good way to also shore up any government revenues, improve the fisc, and probably even give a push to some of the expenditure initiatives that might be required for various reasons that we already discussed.
They don't seem keen though.